This is our last Word Lady lesson before summer break. So thank you for coming, and remember, when we do a Word Lady lesson, you will do some speaking or talking, so you are going to need a talking partner. Make sure that you have somebody with you. Could be mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, brother, sister, cousin. Could be a pet or a stuffed animal, okay? But something or someone you could talk to. Our story today is Corduroy. Let's read our learning target for today together. I can listen for new words and use them when I speak with the help of sentence frames. These are the words we'll be listening for today. Accident, say it.
Accident.
Admiring.
Admiring.
Exclaimed.
Exclaim.
Our story is Corduroy. We are listening for the words accident, admiring, exclaimed. When you hear those words, show me you noticed. Okay? Enjoy the story. Corduroy by Don Freeman. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. This store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls, and overalls are the kind of clothing that Corduroy wears. Then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look, that's the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button on one of his shoulder straps." Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "I didn't know I'd lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight, I'll go and see if I can find it." Late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and he began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him, quite by accident. Did you notice it? Good noticing. Accident means something that happened by chance. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator, and up he went. Could this be a mountain, he wondered. I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there before his eyes was a most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. This must be a palace, Corduroy gasped. And a palace is a castle, just so you know. I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace. He wandered around, admiring the furniture. Good noticing. Admiring means looking at with liking or with respect. So he admires the furniture. He likes it. "This must be a bed," he said. "I've always wanted to sleep in a bed." And up he crawled onto a large, thick mattress. All at once, he saw something small and round. "Why, here's my button," he cried, and he tried to pick it up. But like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. He yanked and pulled with both paws until pop! Off came the button, and off the mattress Corduroy toppled. Bong! Into a tall floor lamp. Over it fell with a crash. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. Now, who in the world did that? He exclaimed. Good noticing. Exclaimed means to say or shout something suddenly. Now, who in the world did that? He exclaimed. Somebody must be hiding down here. He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all. And there he saw 2 fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. Hello, he said. How did you get upstairs? The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator and set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning, and there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. I'm Lisa, she said, and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I've saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home. Shall I put him in a box for you? The saleslady asked. Oh, no, thank you, Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight to her own room. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. This must be a home, he said. I know I've always wanted a home. Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. I like you the way you are, she said, but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened. You must be a friend, said Corduroy. I've always wanted a friend. Me too, said Lisa, and she gave him a big hug. All right, I hope you enjoyed the story. Great job noticing those words that we were listening for. The first word was accident. Say it.
Accident.
All right, in the story it said, quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator and up he went. Accident means something that happens by chance. If you look at the picture, this is a very common kind of accident. It is a car accident. Have you ever been in a car accident? Nobody does that on purpose, right? It's always something that happens by chance. Here's our sentence. It was an accident. Who thinks they could give us a sentence?
When I broke the coffee machine by throwing a stuffed animal, it was an accident.
Yes, I remember that.
When I broke the jar, it was an accident.
Right. Great examples. Our next word is admiring. Say it.
Admiring.
Right. In this story, it said he wandered around admiring the furniture. Admiring means looking at with like or respect. So Corduroy liked the furniture. In this picture, this woman has just gotten a ring and her friend is admiring her ring. She's looking at it because she likes it. She's looking at it with respect. So, our sentence is, I am admiring the,
I am admiring the painting.
great example.
I admired the redwood tree because it's tall.
Great examples. All right, the third word is exclaimed. Say it.
Exclaimed.
In the story it said, the guard heard the crash and came dashing down the escalator. Now, who in the world did that? He exclaimed. Exclaimed is to say or shout something suddenly. So our sentence, actually, if you look at the picture here, this woman looks like she's shouting something suddenly. The word is exclaimed. And our sentence is, I exclaimed loudly when.
I exclaimed loudly when my friends threw a surprise birthday party.
Great example.
I exclaimed loudly when the dog bit me.
Right. Great examples. Okay. So we have accident, admiring, and exclaimed. Who thinks they could come up and show us one of those words?
Can you give us a little more? Exclaimed.
Right?
Accident.
That's right.
All right. Let's see.
Explain.
I'm admiring.
Admiring. It's kind of a hard one to show between admiring and exclaimed. All right. Great job with these words today. Remember, you can use these words when you're writing and when you're speaking. Try to use these words this week and have a great summer. I'll miss you. See you next year. Bye.